Season 2! Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durban, and this is my spoiler-free review for Daredevil Season 2. So if you haven't watched Daredevil Season 2, this is spoiler-free, not gonna blow anything for you. So, overall, I binged this show so fast because the first season of this show to me was just absolutely fantastic. As I said in the trailer talk for Daredevil Season 2, the first season of Daredevil just kind of erased the Ben Affleck movie, which was my only exposure to Daredevil up until that point. And honestly, Daredevil Season 2 really carried on the story of Season 1 so nicely. The writing of this season, superb. The way they told the story, amazing. The acting, fantastic. I enjoyed pretty much every aspect of this season. I will throw this out there. I think it was gorier than last season. And that was things like the Punisher being brought in and him shooting up entire, gangs and squads and, beating people in their face and their faces getting disfigured. And so overall, it was a bit more gory. I don't even know how to begin to describe the plot of this season. I mean, you kind of get it in the trailer that the Hand is starting to take over in New York City, which I thought was interesting, learning that the Hand, that's where Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles got their whole idea for the foot. And then, Stick was, Daredevil's mentor, and Splinter is the mentor of the Ninja Turtles. Huh? Okay, whatever. I thought it was really interesting the way they wrote in the Hand and the way they wrote it all into the story. So all of our main characters are back, and they're great. You have Foggy, you have Karen, and now there's a little bit of a love thing going on between Karen and, Matt Murdock. You kind of see the beginnings of it towards the end of the first season. It begins to go a little forward in this season. Sometimes when superhero TV shows do that, it drives me insane. This one, I was okay with it. It was written well enough, it was performed well enough, and since it's Netflix and it's down to 13 episodes instead of trying to fill 23 episodes with all this needless drama, I really was okay with it. And that's the other thing I like. I like Netflix's 13 episode deal because keeping it at 13 episodes means let's condense that plot, let's keep telling the story, and let's make every episode count, no filler episodes. And this is just another show where it felt like there was no filler episodes. I really thought every episode was important, it was crucial, it was entertaining, I was on the edge of my seat. Obviously, since I binged it in like a day, I love the way they deepened Daredevil's character. And by bringing the Punisher into this, and the Punisher being this killer. I mean, he's a good guy, but he's a killer. And you have Daredevil, who's a good guy, and he draws a line and he doesn't want to cross it. Now, there's a lot of superhero things where they talk about that line and things like that, but there was just the way they did it in this show between the Daredevil and the Punisher, the way they wrote those characters together, the way that those two actors even had that chemistry together. It just really made it a compelling story, the way that they performed it, the way that they pulled it off, the way that it was done. It was extremely compelling, and it was very interesting. And then you got to throw in there Electra. And Elektra apparently is this assassin who enjoys killing. But it's not like she's evil, but it brings this whole other element to Daredevil where, oh my gosh, a woman from his past whom he has loved. And they bring in this story, and it's a great story. Okay, so yeah, I guess there's a little bit of a love triangle with Daredevil, the girl, and Elektra. But again, with no filler episodes and all that kind of junk, it's one of those things where they tell a story, it's a precise story, and it doesn't get over dramatic. It stays really good. But to introduce that element of Elektra, to introduce that chemistry of Elektra, and to deal with Daredevil's I'm not going to kill mentality, but this stuff is coming, and the Hand is here, and the stuff that they want to do, it's just extremely heavy, and it really causes him to wrestle and grapple with kind of his core and who he is and things like that. So I thought that was really interesting, the way they brought in the Punisher, the way they brought in Elektra, the way they worked that together as just part of one cohesive story. I really thought it was really well done. So, of course, I mean, what's the superhero without the villain? And what's interesting is, in this season, the villain was more mysterious. And since it's spoiler-free, I don't really know how much to say about the main villain of this season without really actually giving you a spoiler. So I won't. I'll just say it was interesting, man. It had me. And the actual villain, good. They were good. Then they also brought in Fisk. Now, what's interesting about Fisk is, he's not the main villain of this season, but the way they wrote him in, the way they kept him in our minds, Fisk, his role is not over, and that dude was just as insane as ever before. Up there on TV superhero villains, he's up there for me with, Lex Luthor from Smallville and Deathstroke from Arrow Season 2. I mean, Fisk is up there as one of those just awesome TV show villains. And the way they did Fisk in this season, bravo. I mean, seriously, I was sucked in from beginning to end. I did not want to stop watching it. This season just upped the ante. It didn't slow things down. It didn't take it a weird direction. It was consistent in the same story. It was consistent with its characters, and it was really good how it introduced everything new. It was really a great season for Daredevil. So I'm going to go ahead and just give it 5 stars. If you have watched Daredevil Season 2, how long did it take you to get through all 13 episodes? And what did you think? Let me know in the comments. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Durban. Thanks for checking out Durbania.